Travel agents in Saskatchewan say Sunwing's cancellation of all flights from the Saskatoon and Regina airports for the month could short them thousands of dollars. Agents say the airline has told them that it won't protect their commissions. Citing extenuating circumstances, Sunwing announced last week that it was immediately canceling its operations through February 3rd at the two Saskatchewan airports. The airline says it will follow normal procedures with respect to travel agent commissions. Gradek is lecturer and coordinator at McGill University's Aviation Management program, and he has called the Sunwing situation a debacle, which shows that the government needs to look at finding ways to ensure airlines can deliver on the schedules they promise to customers. Well, Mr. Gradek joins us now. Sir, welcome back to Forum Daily. Looks like we're having an all too familiar conversation starting off the new year.
Yeah, this sounds like a broken record. You're right.
Definitely, sir. So can you unpack the magnitude of the Sunwing situation for our viewers?
Well, it is a fairly complicated situation. I think that what Sunwing sees itself in a situation today where they don't have the resources that they need to fly the schedule that they published. And I think that was also part of the problem they had during the Christmas issues that they had with respect to cancellations and delays. So this is an example of an organization that has put together a flight schedule that was much too ambitious for the resources that they had. I think Sunwing had a intention to bring in about 74 foreign workers, which are pilots. That was canceled in November. The schedule wasn't adjusted, and they end up with all kinds of problems over Christmas. And now, due to public pressure and government pressure, they're seeing the need to cut back their schedule, and they've picked on Saskatchewan as the lucky loser in terms of that reduction in schedule.
Lucky loser indeed, sir. Now, on top of all of this, you're saying that Canada's travel complaints process is broken. So can you tell us a little bit more about this process and what's wrong with it?
Well, I think I've been making this statement for a few months now in terms of looking at the APPRs, the passenger protection regulations, and the appeal process that's in place for individuals who've been denied compensation by the carriers. You have the ability to go to the CTA and file a complaint with the CTA, and you join 32,000 other Canadians in that lineup that the CTA has for adjudicating these complaints, which to me, I think the agency now has said 18 months at best to, in fact, deal with that volume, and the volume is increasing. So, 18 months is not acceptable. We need a new system, a new way of dealing with, adjudicating and fixing and investigating passenger complaints. We have to have some targets that are complaints resolution targets that are reasonable, that are efficient, that deal with making sure that the passengers' rights are dealt with quickly. And 18 months is not the right number.
Some
30
important
days
points,
is
some
yeah, and
important
30
points
days
to consider there, sir.
yeah, and 30 days should be the right number. Within 30 days, the CTA should in fact adjudicate.
Definitely, Mr. Gradek. Just a little over a minute left here, but amid all of this chaos, we know the federal NDP is calling on the government to find ways to make the airline industry in Canada more competitive. So what are your thoughts on this, and is this possible or realistic at this time?
I think we're competitive enough as it is. I think the NDP is take an interesting approach that by more carriers we'll get lower fares. Well, guess what? We've got lower fares. We've got services coming out of our yin yang on the transcontinental services. We don't need another carrier on a transcontinental. We've got 7 of them already. Prices are low. Competition is there, and you're not going to entice anybody to fly into Saskatchewan or Northern Ontario or Western Newfoundland. They're going to want to go after those big markets, and there's enough carriers there already.
All right, a quick 45 seconds left here, but let's conclude with some broader perspective on this issue. So how do you see these flight cancellations and staffing issues in Canadian airports impacting the broader global travel sector?
Well, we know we've got a lousy reputation as it is today. So it's, August, September, Toronto was voted the worst airport in the world. And what's happened over Christmas, I think the Canadian airports have demonstrated to the world that Canadian airports are not doing very well in dealing with winter. Guess what? Winter happens every year. And so this year, somehow, some way, we haven't got the resources or the skill set or the experience needed to operate winter. Hopefully, they'll be getting the experience this next few months, and hopefully by next Christmas, we'll get our act together.
Lots to keep our eyes on. Mr. Gradek, thank you again for joining us today on Forum Daily.
My pleasure, Nima. Take care.
Take care. All right, we'll be right back. And after the break, we're going to take a look at the major news stories and headlines from around the world, of course. So stay tuned. Forum Daily will be back after a short break.